What's going on, guys? It's Mazda Monday again, and it's going to be a short video. Pretty much, I just want to go over, I feel like is one of the most important mods. I wouldn't say important, but honestly, it made the biggest improvements of all the mods that I've had my 4th gen guys do. I've already went over this before. I'm going to have to make an updated video because the old installation, we've made some revisions to it and it's a little bit better now. But the most important overlooked upgrade that I've been seeing for the 4th gens is that low pressure fuel pump. I know everybody was giving me heat for that like early on, and people were telling me I'm trying to rip people off, this and that. I tell you right now, every single person that installed this fuel pump has noticed a difference, right? And I know it works because when I would tell them to install this, I'd be like, we're not going to change the tune. I want you to see just with installing the pump without the tune, I want you to see if you notice anything. Every single person that installed this pump noticed a smoother ride, and then the torque on the low end was better. Now, I could go into details on what is happening and why they're noticing this, performance gain. But also, if I give out too much information, it, kind of allows some of these people who are tuning to kind of get the jump start on what I already got the jump on. But anyways, so pretty much, guys, this video is just I'm making this video so I don't have to keep sending people the link to this fuel pump. All right, so all I'm gonna do is, leave the link below for this fuel pump, and it's a pretty simple install. I've installed this pump on 6 4th gens already, NA, supercharged, turbocharged, and it works for all of them. So what people don't know is this stock pump that's in the car is the same pump that is on the 2.0 liter 4th gen, right? In the US, we only got the 2.0 liter for 2021 and 2022, right? All the other countries still have it. But, I mean, it could be the same pump that's in a 1.5. I don't know because I haven't gone that far. But the same pump they are using in the 4th gen turbo is the same pump they're using on a 2.0 liter. That makes half the horsepower, guys. Now, I get it. Yes, the stock pump is able to supply fuel to the turbo model, and some people aren't seeing fueling issues, guys. But a lot of people haven't pushed the turbo as far as I have, and we pushed it on that far by accident, So, Sebastian, I know you're watching. He's the one who showed me that the fuel pressure could drop. But anyways, that's the flow that we were pushing on that. You guys won't see that unless you on big turbo because, we were able to achieve that amount of flow because we were just focused on boost just to see what the turbo could max out at. You don't want the turbo that hot. But anyways, don't want to go too much into that right now. I just want to kind of show you the fuel pump, the stock one right here. And you guys got to realize, I haven't been tuning Mazdas that long, but I've been around direct injection for a while. I had a 2006 Audi A4 that was fully built. And, I did pretty much what the speeds were doing. They used the same high pressure fuel pump internals, right? So we're all upgrading the internals to get better fuel pressure because everybody's trying to get more power, and with more power and you got more air, you need more fuel. The upgraded fuel pump allows you to have more stable fuel pressure and higher fuel pressure. When you get higher fuel pressure, the fuel is able to atomize a lot better. When you start to get to a certain airflow level and the fuel pressure can't maintain as high, you don't get as good as atomization with the fuel as you would if there's a higher pressure behind it. And then when there's higher pressure, the fuel injector doesn't have to stay open as long, right? So if your fuel injector doesn't have to stay open as long, you can do a lot of things like increase some timing. You can get the closer to spark. So having higher pressure is definitely beneficial, right? I'm gonna go ahead and turn this around so you guys can see the stock pump. And a lot of people don't know. I already went through and tested a high pressure fuel pump, tested a low pressure. I tried to do some stuff that the Hyundai guys do, because I had some fully built ND Miata guys that like are turbo and stuff. They were showing me all the stuff they were doing and trying to do, and they were going to experiment on it. And I jumped the gun and tried to do the experiment that they were getting ready to do, and it didn't work out for me, all right? So let me turn this around and show you what I got right here. To my left is the stock, this little itty bitty thing. This is your stock fuel pump that is supposed to support, 300 plus horsepower. This thing is tiny, right? I'll leave a link or a picture of the other pump next to it. It's not that much bigger, but look how tiny this thing is. And this is in the 2.0, all right? So this is your low pressure fuel pump that is in your fuel tank, right? This is what supplies fuel to the high pressure fuel pump that is in the engine bay. And this is cam driven, right? So this fuel pump right here, it is driven by a lobe on the exhaust cam. So when that exhaust cam is spinning, it compresses this spring and it forces fuel out, right? I broke this, but pretty much the fuel, let's see if I'm holding this up like this, it goes in the car. There's your two lines, right? This is the line that is coming from the low pressure fuel pump, and then this goes to your fuel rail, right? So I ended up breaking this because we had a fueling issue, and that was before I found the upgrade for a low pressure pump. Because me coming from the VW scene, the first thing they do is to try to upgrade the fuel pump internals. So I was talking to these ND Miata guys, and you can't open these pumps like you can the Mazda speed pumps. You can't just open it up, and like what we would do is you'd open this up right here, take this off, and then replace the little piston with a bigger piston. This is a completely sealed unit, so we can't just use a tool, take the ring off, and pull a piston out like we did on the Mazda speeds and VWs. So in this pump, we were talking, and I was trying to find out all the ways to get more fuel because I couldn't get more fuel at the time. And what my dumb butt decided to do, I might add it in the video. I'll add some pictures so you can see it. This is my original high pressure fuel pump. I was experimenting for you guys. I was trying to find a solution so you guys, when it comes time, we can get that extra fuel. But I tried to remove. There's a filter. I'll have to take this off, or I'll send you. I'll link a picture in here. But under here, there's a fuel filter. Like we have a fuel filter that's connected to the bottom of this pump. And then there's also a secondary filter that is inside this high pressure fuel pump, right? It's right under here. So it's a metal filter to keep, dirt and grit from getting into your fuel injectors and into your fuel line. Pretty much what I was trying to do is get as much fuel into the rail as possible. So there was a little filter in here, and apparently the guys in the Kia and Hyundai world, to get a little bit more fuel when they're starting to run ethanol, they would take this little filter out of here that would help you get a little bit more flow. But the problem with ours is it's attached in there, and I'll put this video that the guy who removed it, you guys can watch it. He was trying to help me out, but we ended up messing this up and had to buy a new pump. But in here, there's a little metal filter, and I took tweezers to get it out, but then there's all this grit and stuff in there. And then by the time, I got most of the grit out, I rinsed this thing out 5 or 6 times, tried to use everything to get all the grit out. But when I plugged this thing back up, there was still some grit. And I'll show you in a little picture, a little diagram, how the pump works. But ended up when this compressed, a lot of those little particles got stuck in the little spring. There's a little spring inside of here. You'll see it when I do the diagram, but there's a little spring inside of here. And some of those rubber pieces that was stuck on the filter in there got stuck in the spring, and I pretty much just ruined the pump. So I had to buy a new one. And so there's no way to really clean that little filter out, get everything out of it. So I just decided it's not worth it. So we found another route, and this is the only thing we have right now. Apparently Corksport is testing a high pressure fuel pump, but for right now, this is all we got for 4th gen is upgrading this stock pump to the LC500 pump. It's actually just a Toyota pump that's for the trucks. I just say LC500 because it sounds nicer, and it is an LC500. But right now, Out of all the upgrades that I've had people do, this was the most noticeable. Obviously, the cork sport downpipe is noticeable, but if you're on a stock tune, you'll hit the limiters in there. But as far as just like the one mod that just does the most, this fuel pump does the most, and I'll explain later in another video why. But this is the most beneficial mod you can do besides tuning to the 4th gen. Right, not the fuel pump, not the spark plugs. Exhaust is good, but like I said, if you do the CS downpipe, you need to do the full 80 millimeter exhaust, because you're gonna want to match the piping so you don't have any turbulence with your flow. All right. So as far as installing this fuel pump, the one tool you're gonna need, I'll leave a link in the bottom. You're gonna need this wrench to get off the lock ring on the fuel pump, right? And this is so under your back seat, there'll be a lock ring. You got to take off this plastic ring, and then you're going to use this with a 1/2-inch driver and a breaker bar. When you try to open this thing, it's going to be very violent trying to unlock that ring. So don't worry about using a lot of force and breaking something. You won't break it, but when it pops hard. All right. So pretty much you'll need this to unlock that ring. And what I would suggest doing, because I tried to get a fuel line release tool, it didn't work, unfortunately. So how I've been releasing the fuel line is just with picks. What I would suggest doing is getting 2 of these picks. Like, you kind of want the angled ones, the ones that's a little bit angled like that, and you want 2 of them to put on each side. And what you got to do is you got to go on the inside that fuel line and pop out the tabs, and be very gentle with them, because if you break those tabs, you can't secure the fuel line. As soon as that pressure hit, the fuel line will pop off. All right. So yeah, guys, I know I'm in my socks and whatever. I just kind of want to get on here. I'm getting ready to go to gym. Just wanted to give you guys, like, just let you know, if you're in a turbo or supercharged, this is one of the best modifications you can do. And like, I know guys are going, oh, we're not having fueling issues. Do it anyways. I'm telling you, your car is going to run so much better with this pump in. You don't even need tuning for it. Just reset your ECU. Be careful, try to get this all out in one little motion. You can see there's like a little filter in there. Be very careful and try to pull it out.
Okay, Justin, I was going to show you a trick to getting that brass ring out. So this is your low side feed line. You're going to take that out, and up in there is where that screen is, and the brass ring is at the top. So it sits underneath like this. It's behind the sealed cap. That cap cannot be taken off without destroying the pump. So this pump I've taken apart so that I can figure out how to get to it. And this is the brass ring. So you hold it with that sealed cap facing upward like that. You take your hook, and there's a little indentation right here above the brass ring. So you're gonna stick the hook inside where it goes over. You're gonna hook it over to what would be my right in this picture and hold it like that, and then you can kind of work it back and forth, and that ring will finally pop out, and then you don't have that in there to worry about anymore. And I would still probably hook your fuel pump up and leave the high pressure line off and crank it over a few times, put some rags under it, cup, whatever, and blow some fuel through it. I also rinsed this out. Just put some alcohol in it, rinsed it out really well to make sure that nothing went up inside the pump that may go through into the fuel rail, get into the injectors and all that. Just doing as much as I can to avoid that issue. But anyway, that little trick using the deconstructed pump is was helpful for me to figure out what I needed to do to pry that thing out of there, because I just feel better with it completely out. It's probably okay, but I'd rather not risk it, rather have it just straight shot. So there you go. Hope that was helpful.
So yeah, that's it, guys. I finished my stock turbo tuning today. I sent out the tunes for the guys with the 22 plus turbos. Tomorrow, I'm going to send out the guys who have the 21 turbo. You guys, man, your turbo sucks. There's so many different ECUs just for the 2021 Turbo 3. So, you know, I got to keep making separate ones for you guys. But as of right now, I only have 2 tunes, right? So these guys are going to be getting the 2 tunes. One's called S1 and one's J1. My S1 tune is going to be similar power to the J1 tune, but it's going to have better fuel economy. And so it's just going to be a more efficient tune and like a daily driving tune, right? And then I got my J1 tune. J1 is compatible with JB4, all right? So if you guys want to make some big power, I got a J1 tune that you can put with JB4. I mean, even without JB4, you notice the tune's a little bit more rowdy and it wants to open up more. It's similar power to the S1 tune, but the S1 tune, you cannot use it like with JB4. I mean, you technically could, but you don't want to use more than like 1 PSI with it, because my valve timing and everything's different for that one. Like wastegate, all that stuff's different. So the S1, if you guys want just like a daily tune that's just going to be all around better, and you're going to have power all the way through almost 6K. So like right now, that tune, my power band has shifted from like that 4K to like around 55 to 5700. So if you guys are looking for a tune that doesn't feel like it's dying out at the top end, you know, I have that S1 tune, and the J1 tune doesn't die out either. But if you want to make some big power, I got that J1 tune. You can hook the JB4 up to it, put it on map 1 with 93. So yeah, guys, I don't know what kind of power it puts down. Hopefully we get Sebastian on the dyno so we can see what it does. But I mean, he made 269 on the older tunes, and this one's way more powerful by itself. And then you can add the JB4 on top of it. So we don't know what kind of power we're putting out. But I mean, he's hanging with, 400 wheel horsepower Cupras, which are like a front wheel drive Golf R. So we'll see. But as of right now, guys, I finally finished the tuning. 2021 guys, hold off until tomorrow. I'll get your tunes out to you. And thank you guys for supporting me so far. And I'm looking forward to hearing the feedback on these tunes. So guys, if you are interested in my new tune, since I've got it all dialed in, I kind of want to make it more affordable for you guys. If you guys already got like Mazda Edit and a Tactrix and you want the tune, pretty much I'm going to be running a special. If you want to get the S1 tune and the J1 tune, it's $300, guys, for both tunes. And then that J1 tune, if you feel like it ain't enough, you throw that JB4 on there. So both those tunes are 91 compatible, right? You only need 91 octane to run either one of those tunes. Now, if you want to go ahead and run map 1, I would suggest running 93 octane. I have not tested that with 91. We only use 93 octane if we're going to do the JB4 on top. But like I said, both those maps are safe on 91 with no added boost. You can get away with 1 PSI added on each of those with 91. Hasn't been tested past that, so there's no issues with that. But if you want to go ahead and like go buck wild and use, you know, plus 2 psi, 3 psi, 4 psi, get on 93. All right, now if you don't have 93 in your area, you could do an ethanol blend. Right now, since it's wintertime, the ethanol blend's low. So if you want to run ethanol, I'll kind of wait till the summertime when the ethanol content's higher. So pretty much you can run E20 with JB4 map 1. Guys, I don't recommend doing map 2. We got guys running it, but long term, I cannot guarantee you that you won't have issues. People live in different elevations and different heat temperatures. So guys, just be careful with it. You're going to get a very powerful tune. Like, you know, I'm actually shocked how powerful it is. I mean, Mazda speeds with Cobb and full bolt-on can't keep up when you do the JB4 plus my tune. All right. Unless they're running, maybe, I don't know. I haven't seen one yet. Sebastian's been taking them out. But anyways, guys, just want to let you know that's what I got going on. If you just want one of the tunes, it'll be $250, $300 for both together. I've been working on this tune for a year, since December 2022. So it's been a year and 2 months that we've been working on this dang tune. And I finally just said, you know what, this is as good as it's going to get. And we don't have all the tables, you know, because I'm looking at some of the other ECUs and they have tables we don't have. And the table we don't have is very important. And then I looked at JB4 and I'm like, well, this can control that table we don't have. Might as well use it. And, you know, everybody wins. You know, the tune, I'm selling the tune, and it's going to make up for the lack in performance that some of you complain about, like while you're already at like highway speed. You won't have that with my tune combined with JB4. That JB4 is magical. You know, we don't need a Cobb access port. We got JB4, guys. So that's all for today. Like I said, if you're 4th gen, get that fuel pump. I don't care. Your MPG won't go down. The car will adjust, but you'll be able to, you know, you'll have higher pressure. So end up, your car pretty much adjusts for that extra pressure, and it shortens how long the injector's open and everything. So get that pump and you will be surprised how smooth your car runs, guys. And then if you guys are 3rd gen, go to Fab9 website, buy the ND2 pump, right? It's literally just a, I know I shouldn't be telling their secrets, but it's literally just a turbo fuel pump from the like CX-9. Same fuel pump, but it does put out a little bit more fuel. It's a newer pump because a lot of you guys have outdated pumps in your cars. If you're, you know, 2014, 15 cars, go ahead and update it with that CX-9 turbo pump, and it will do the same thing. It just doesn't do as much as the 4th gen LC500 pump because it's a bigger pump. The one that you're getting with that turbo is just literally just a swap. You don't have to do any modification. Whereas we on the LC500, we got to cut that bracket to fit the pump because it's a longer pump. And then also, if you watch my old installation video, how the pump orientation, how I had it, I'm going to leave the link in here so you'll see it during the video when it's running. But we use an orientation that's different now. Instead of over the top, we go around the pump and the relief valve. All right, guys. So that's the only difference. But that's all for today. Just kind of want to keep you guys in the loop what's going on. Some of my guys pure turbo shipped out, so we're going to be getting that underway here soon too. So hopefully we get a lot of dyno results in this month. So this is the month for it, guys. Catch you later.